Now at the back window, we spray enough solution to keep it nice and lubed so that the film can move freely. We roll up the tint outside and bring it in, eliminating the chance of it getting contaminated with debris. So you unroll and you stick to the window. You will get one side in, and then you continue removing the protective layer of the tint, and you roll the rest of it across. With it having so much solution behind it, it is easy for it to move freely and it does not stick. What you want to do is center the film. It has been shrunk to fit the window, so you have to find that sweet spot so that you can squeegee all the water out and lay the film nicely on the glass. And here he is using his hand to spread it out, make sure it is sitting down properly, and you can see how the water is being pushed out. So as he does this, he is eliminating water from between the film and the glass. Once you have the film centered, now you can go back in with your tools Remember, you want to keep on tweaking, you want to keep on manipulating it until you have it perfect. And now you do the same thing. You divide the film in half, and now you push the water up with the Blue Max, and you continue with the other side, keeping a 50-50 overlap. And once you do that, you continue with the bottom. You remember to spray to keep it lubed so that the tool is able to slide over the film correctly. Easy does it. Just make sure that you have no air bubbles, and it looks good from the outside, and you're done, son. That's the back glass. Okay, now so the car is completed. Now we are going to attack the windshield. Not a lot of people know how to do the windshield because it is an odd shape, but we will shrink it, cut it, and install it. We put a few drops of soap, non-diluted, and scrub it across the windshield so that it can hold the film in place. So what we do is you make it lay down in the middle, you divide it with the Blue Max, and then you do a rough cut again. You trim it, lay it flat. You see, we're squaring off the edges because those are a little flatter. We do it across again. We're gonna make an H pattern. Make sure you trim the excess. And here he is completing the H. Alright, he's gonna start heating up the film so that it can start to shrink. And you only heat up so much of the film, and make sure you flatten that so it can mold to the windshield. The longer you work with film, the more you will be able to cover, making it a faster job. He does not go past what he has heated up. You can tell what is heated by the squiggly lines that it turns into. And you just continue. You can see where the windshield has its visibility through, and we will trim at that edge. There you go. The bottom left is done. So now you split the window again in half, just like the rear window, and you continue. You heat up, and then you push the film up. Since he did heat up all the way to the top, he will now run all the way up. And you will have to be careful and slow down so that you do not crease the film. The longer you work with film, you will be able to understand the limits of the film. In other videos, we'll show how to correct a crease that you have accidentally made. Here he is, pushing with his fingers because his fingers are softer than the hard card and they won't crease it. So you use your fingers to lay down the tint. That way you don't crease it, and you push it so that it can lay down gently, and when you go across it with the hard card, it already knows where it should go. You see, now the tint has been stretched and it covers more than just the windshield. It's on the roof now. And you continue with the same technique on the driver's side. We could speed it up. I want to play it in real time so you guys understand and see how long it actually takes. And you work the film left to right. Make sure it is heating up. And you don't want to stay in the same spot too long. You can see how he holds the hard card at an angle and he pushes down. Let me just continue. This is a weird windshield. It is round, but the corners tuck in hard into the fender. We didn't see this until the end of the shrinking process. That's why some other corners were a little more difficult. That's why it is very important to look at the vehicle that you're about to work on. The more experience you have, the easier it is, and it's just muscle memory when it comes to tinting. And you will lay down the film and get to work, and depending on how the film reacts, you will act accordingly. You'll know whether you need to push, pull, heat to adjust it so that it can lay on the window the way you want it to. Here he shrunk it, stretched it, had it flat, didn't like it, pulled it back up, and then attacked it again. Because this film is very durable, you can shrink it, you can pull it, and you can shrink it again, as long as you don't overheat it or overwork it. If you heat it up too much, the film will distort, and you will see that on the film once you take the protective layer out. With more experience, you will understand how that works. You could see how the edge of the film was distorted. But that is okay because we did a rough cut and the tint is actually larger than what we need. We will still go back and trim that up. And now attacking the top of the film. This being heated, and the tint shrinks to the window. While it is hot, you can then lay it down flat with the hard card. Here's where we started to notice that the window is round and then the corners tuck in. It has a harder curve. We're going to have to work this a different way. So we're going to pull and heat up to get the film to wrap the windshield like you would vinyl. And then we see that we are past the line that we need, so we are good there. And now to trim, you will need a good flashlight so that the darks will be dark and the lights will be light. You'll be able to see where the actual darkness of the windshield is, and you can see it is about a 1/16 of an inch wider than the actual area that is used to see through. It is easier if you have help, someone in the inside of the vehicle lighting outside. They just seem to follow you and you make your cut. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Here we are just going around the windshield, continuing that about 1/16 of an inch. You can see that the lines are not perfect, they're not straight, but with that 1/16 of an inch that overlaps the area you see through the windshield, it will not be noticeable from the inside or the outside. We leave this area for the end because it is a little more twists and turns here. This is the area for the mirror and for the lane search and all that good stuff. I'm gonna make sure we don't cover that with the tint. If it affects it, I don't know. It might. We just rather not take the risk. Since that area is dark anyways, it doesn't matter if we tint it or not. So here we are separating the protective layer from the film. We want to spray enough solution on there to keep it wet so that the protective layer does not glue itself back onto the film. Lots and lots of solution. And we lay it back on there and it won't stick because of soapy solution. Alright, and then we just make sure that we cover up the tint so that no debris sticks onto the glue. After that is done, then we will make our way to the other side. There we are, same thing. We spray the windshield so that the film can stick to the window as we peel the protective layer off. And again, we're going to put a lot of solution on it. We're going to get it ready. And then when we're done with that, we will lay the protective layer back on. Once you have laid the protective layer back onto the film, we will begin to roll it. This way it's easier to maneuver and we are able to put it in the car and unroll it using less space and able to work more comfortably. Remember, when you lay the tint on any window, you are going to lay it with a protective film on top. And that's the way he is rolling it up now, so that whenever he unwraps it, he knows which direction to unwrap so that the film will be in place correctly. That way the glue would be to the window side. So now you are going to clean the windshield, make sure that you can see clearly. That way you can clean your windshield and not have any debris. And when you squeegee, remember that 50-50 overlap. That way you will be 100% sure you cover the entire windshield when you're squeegeeing. And here you can see how clean the window is. Now if you see anything, you'll know that it is from the inside. And here we are going to scrub the inside of the window with scrub pads, making sure that we take everything, any imperfection, any dust, any crud, anything that's on that windshield that will show from the outside once the film is laid down. And remember to always keep the paper flat when you are scrubbing. That way you know that you are following a direction and you are overlapping. I am only speeding it up because I don't want to edit it out, so you guys can see how much work is actually done to get the windshield clean. I just sped it up so you can actually see all the steps that we go through to ensure the clean windshield. Clean windshield makes your tint look 10 times better with no debris behind it. So here we are beginning to unwrap the film that we have, and we're going to let it stick. That's why you spray solution on the windshield so that it can hold the film in place. So you're going to fight it a little bit because of the area you're working in, but you will set it in place and work it just like you did the back window. You're going to manipulate it and have it sit in center with a 16th overlap on the visible area. You see, we unrolled it with this heavy soap and water, and now you're going to slide it over, push it up, push it down. What you want to do is get it to the exact place that you had it when you shrunk it. That way the film will lay exactly where it needs to lay and your job will be a lot easier. Again, using your hands before any tools, because your hands are softer, they will not crease the tint as easy as using a tool. longer you take here, the better your tint will lay. And once you find your location, you're going to split it again. Down the middle and across, and now you will be able to just work all the water out to the top. There is a lot of water involved. Depending on your vehicle, I would suggest to lay rags on the dashboard to absorb any of the water. A lot of the new vehicles have a lot of electronics that can be damaged by the water. And again, he split the window in the top half. Now you will work your way up. And when that's done, you will continue working the bottom. He hits the edges. I wanted to show the outside because the film we are using is a 30%, and you can clearly see the blue max as it goes across. Now we're going to make sure that the film has water solution on it. That way when we use our next tool, the bulldozer, it can slide easily and push the water out. This tool is flexible, so it can follow the shape of the window, and it reaches far down where the Blue Max can't reach because of the dash. Remember, your tools are what makes your job easier. You can use simpler tools, but I don't think you will have the same quality. Your tools make your job easier, and it makes you perform better. You can see how easy this tool reaches down in there. After looking it over, we see a couple of spots that do not want to stick. So what we're going to do is the same as all the other windows. We heat it up and hit it one more time with the bulldozer. The glue dries and the film stays in place. Now what you do is just look over the window, make sure that you fix anything that you see that's not nice, and you're done.